Hey guys, in this video, we are going to discuss the PHP syntax, comments, and variables. Before we start, let's run first the XAMPP control panel. So I'm going to go to my XAMPP installation and then click on the XAMPP control and start the Apache module. If you still don't have XAMPP installed, you can click on the link above and follow the installation process. Let's just close this one. So inside my htdocs folder, I'm going to create a new folder and let's name this one as PHP_learning. Let's visit the folder, type in localhost PHP_learning, and as you can see, it's showing us an empty folder. Now I am going to open my text editor or code editor. Then here I am going to create an empty file. Let us save this one inside the PHP learning folder. So let's go to the XAMPP 2, then htdocs, so inside the PHP learning folder. And here, so PHP file, it should end with the .php extension, and save the file. So now you just created your first PHP file. Let's open our browser and visit the file we just created. And as you can see in our browser, it's empty since we don't have any code in our PHP file. Now let's start writing our PHP code. So to start, so PHP file should start with this tag. So this is the opening tag, and then the closing tag should end with this one. In between this tag is where you put all your PHP code or the logic of the program you want to create. Now let's write a code that will output hello world in our screen. So let's use the echo and then type in hello world, and every statement in PHP should end with this one, the semicolon symbol. Now let's run our file in the browser, and as you can see, it displays the hello world text. We can easily integrate our PHP code inside an HTML tags or HTML code. So I'm going to create a simple HTML file. Inside our body tag, let's try to write a PHP code. Same thing, let's echo hello world, but let's wrap that one inside an h1 or header tag. Now let's refresh our page, and as you can see, we are able to display the hello world inside the HTML tag. PHP keywords are case insensitive. So for this example, the echo keyword, if I'm going to change some letters and transform it to uppercase, I'm still going to get the same result. Let's just copy this one and paste it below, and then let's change the keyword and transform some letters into an uppercase. Now let's refresh our browser, and as you can see, we are still able to display the hello world. In PHP, there are two types of writing comments in your file. The first one is a single line comments. You can use a double forward slash and then write your comment. And also, you can use the number symbol, and then write your comment. Now let's write our code. So based on the comments we write, so here we should echo the hello world. Then here we should echo hi. Let's refresh the page, and as you can see, we're able to display the text. Let's just add an HR tag to separate the text, and write a comment above, and let's run the browser again. Next type of comment is called the multi-line comments. To do this one, you just start the comment with this symbol and ends with this one, and with this comment you can write a multiple line comment. So you can just do this one, then let's just write or echo something. Let's add the separator between the text. Let's refresh our page, and as you can see, we are able to display the text in a new line. For single line comments, you can also move the comments beside the actual code, so it's easier to read. Now let's refresh the browser. In PHP, a variable starts with the dollar symbol followed by the variable name and then the value. Let's echo this variable and refresh the browser. Variables in PHP are case sensitive, so if I'm going to write the same variable name with different letter casing and then echo that one, as you can see, we displayed a different value. So let's just add a line break and refresh. A variable name will start with a letter. It can also start with an underscore, but the variable name should not start with a number. Now let's refresh the page, and as you can see, it is showing an error on this line. Let's just update the variable name and then refresh the browser, and as you can see, we don't have the error. Let us echo these variables and show it in our page. Let's discuss global scope in PHP. Now I'm just going to create the variable age and then assign a value of 12, and then here I'm going to create the function. So the function will be discussed later in the playlist, and then this will just echo the value of the variable we created. And then here let's call the function, and then another echo statement which will also echo the variable value. Let's update the code and wrap the text inside the header tag so it will look bigger in our browser. Let's visit our browser, and as you can see here, we have an error on line 7, so which is inside the function. That's because we don't have access to the variable we created, since this is in global scope and it can't be accessed within the function. However, on this line we were able to pull the value, which is 12. That's because it has access to that variable. We are also able to display the text inside the function, but it is missing the variable value. Now let's discuss about local scope. Let's move the variable and put it inside the function. And then let's refresh our browser. Since we declared the variable inside the function, in our browser we were able to pull the value. However, on this line, it's not displaying since we don't have access to it. And that's why it gave us an undefined variable age error on line 11. But there's a way on how to access the global variables inside our function. We can make use of the global keyword or the super global variable. Now let's discuss the keyword global and how to use it. So inside our function, we just need to write global and then the name of the global variable. So once we refresh that one, it will show us the value. Using the global keyword, it will redeclare your global variables inside the function, and that is why you have access, or we are able to get the value of that super global variable. Let's try to create a new global variable, then echo that one. And as you can see here, we have an error on line 8, so let's add this one to our global keyword statement and refresh, and as you can see, it's now showing. Now let's proceed with the super global variable. So every time you create a global variable, it will be stored in this variable name. So let's just try to output the value of this variable. So this is an array, and then let's just refresh. So right now it's showing us an array, so let's just update the code and print it clearly, or format the printing. As you can see here, the variables we created are added inside the variables. Now let's create a new variable, and then let's refresh our browser, and as you can see here, it is now added to our variable. Now let's access those values. So here we just write global and then the variable name or the key name, so which is this one. Just copy and then paste, and here global and the name. You can also assign this here, so assign the value to another variable, and then instead of this one, we can just use the newly created variables. Let's refresh, and as you can see here, we are able to display those global variables inside our function. That's it guys. Please subscribe to our channel.